All right, I'm back, and now I want to talk to you guys about building relationships, ongoing customer care, and retention, right? So let's be honest, we are in the business of building relationships. That is a huge part of what we do. We want people to relate to us, connect to us, feel like, that we understand what they're going through, because we do, and we can help them. So let's talk about ongoing customer care, customer retention, because we do work very hard to acquire our customers, right? Like, we're out there, we're consistently posting, we're getting those customers, we're setting them up for success, we're spending a lot of time and effort on them. We don't want to have to get new customers every 3 months because they're leaving and going somewhere else. We want them to see value in us, right? Like, because we are part of the package that they are getting when they are subscribing to EllieMd. They also get us, right? So we want them to have value in that they're like, yeah, maybe I could go somewhere and save a few bucks, but I like that I have my coach. Maybe I could go somewhere and, try out this place, but I feel safe here because I have my coach. Like, so that is part of the value that we add, and it's a huge part of the value and a huge part of customer retention. So, let's make sure we keep those customers, right? So we're getting them set up. We're getting them set up with, what to expect. What are they going to do when they receive their meds? We're getting them into a support community so that they have other people who are going through the same things as them to talk to bounce ideas off of, to see and cheer along with them as well and celebrate them. We have told them, we are your biggest cheerleader. We're going to be here with you throughout all of this to give you all of the tips, tricks, advice that helped for us, that helps our customers. And we are going to be able to connect you with someone when you need those medical things, when you're like, oh my gosh, this came up. Do I need to be worried about this? Or, oh my gosh, I need this. Like, we're going to be able to connect them with those doctors, and walk them through all of that, right? So I do this with, do the customer retention part with weekly check-ins. So it's very simple. I pick a day of the week, and some weeks it's different. Like, some weeks I just pick the day that's my calendar is the most open. And as you grow your business, of course, you're going to have more people to check in with. So it's going to take you a little longer. As you get started, you might have 1 or 2 people to check in with weekly, and that's okay. But you want to start a habit of setting aside time every single week to check in with your customers, okay? And making a point to do that. So I keep track of all of my customers. I'll actually grab it here in a little notebook. I started this notebook when I started the business, and I can't really show you exactly because obviously we have HIPAA rules, but let me see if I can get you a page without showing you details. So this is my book, and I'm going to cover up people's names, but basically the part that's covered is the names, okay? And then I have 3 columns labeled 1, 2, 3. And in those columns, I write the date that they ordered, the first order. Then I'm keeping track in my back office when their second order payment goes through and when their third order and payment comes through. I also do put at the end of their names like a little symbol of like T or S for tirzepatide or semaglutide, or if it's a different peptide, or if it's a microdose. So I have like a little coding system that I use. And then I'm able to, when I speak to them each time, first of all, I'm able to use my notebook to go through each week as I'm doing my check-ins. And then I'm able to remember like what medication they're on, so I don't have to constantly keep asking. And honestly, we don't know that at first, right? So we have to ask them the first time, but when I find it out, I put it in there, so I don't have to keep asking. Sometimes I still have to ask though. And then I also will, so like when someone is up with their 3-month subscription and they reorder, I will circle their name, like, okay, yes, I retain that person, and then I'll write them in the book again, because now they're a new customer again, right? Because I retained them and they started a new 3-month subscription. If they told me for whatever reason, like, no, it's just not my thing, I'm going to discontinue, then I'll just cross off their name. And those are kind of like my little codes to myself. If someone joins as a brand partner and joins my team, I highlight them and I write BP next to them, so I know that's a brand partner. But basically, then I know the ones that are circled, they're in my book again, so they're going to be on my list in a different month where I'm going to be touching base with them. If I cross them off, I know, okay, well, they're not a customer of mine anymore. I don't need to follow up with them anymore unless they would re-sign up eventually down the road, which I've had that happen many times. So I just keep a really good line of communication open with them. I leave it on a good note, and I make sure I say, okay, well, I'm really sorry that this wasn't the answer for you, or I'm really sorry that you decided to go a different route. However, if you need anything in the future, I am here for you. Just reach out. So I like to keep that line of communication open. I like to leave it end on a good note that they know if at any choice they choose to go to a different company and then they decide it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, that they know they can come back to me and there's no bad blood there. So I keep that list and I just go through it each week. And eventually you guys might get to a spot where it's taking you, like 30 minutes to an hour or even more to follow up with all of your weekly check-ins. But that's great, right? So you're able to check in with them. And what I do, you guys, is I just send a copy and paste again, right? So we're making it easy. We're making it simple. It is personalized and personable, but we want to make it simple for ourselves, right? So I'm doing a copy and paste message each week. I will type out the first one, the original. So it'll be something like, and again, use your vibe, okay? So you say it how you would say it. Don't say it how I say it, but how I say it is, hey, hon, happy Tuesday. Just checking in, seeing how you're doing. Let me know. Or it could be a little more involved. One week where I say hey there, girl. Happy Wednesday. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Brr, it's cold outside. I can't wait for summer. Just checking in. How are things going? Sometimes I add in things that are specific to their journey. So maybe I know because it's in my book that this is their final payment went through this week. So now I know that in 2 weeks, they're going to be receiving their reassessment email from Ellie. I want to give them a heads up of that so they know that they're looking for that. They're already thinking okay, what am I going to do for my next 3-month subscription? And again, I'm not asking them, are you going to continue? I'm letting them know your assessment is going to come. Here's what you're going to do to fill it out. And I'm assuming that they're continuing until they tell me otherwise. So then my message might sound like, hey, hon, happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. Just checking in, seeing how things are going. Also, heads up, your reassessment is due and then before the end of the month. So watch for that in the next 2 weeks. It'll come to your email. Be sure that you do fill it out and send it in so you can continue on and get your new meds. Let me know if you need any help with that. Okay, so simple messages, and you're able to just copy, paste, and send those to the next person. Tailor it a little bit if you need to. Of course, if it's a man, I'm not going to say, I don't say, hey, hun. I guess you could. But then I'll just say hey, Jacob, and then I'll continue on with the rest of it. Or if it's, their assessment should have been done already. Be like, hey, I know I mentioned to you that your assessment was coming. Did you receive that yet? It should have came last week, Tuesday. Do you see it in your inbox? So all of those things I'm keeping track of. I'm reaching out to them. Again, this is part of the customer experience, part of, making sure that I'm making sure that they're taken care of. And until, some people may not respond to you. And I will tell you that right up front. You might send these messages and you might continue sending message week after week after week, and they look at them, but they don't respond. That's okay. Until they tell you hey, I'm good. I don't need the check-ins. I'll reach out if I need something. I continue to reach out. Okay. So it just is what it is, but continue to let them know you're the biggest cheerleader. You're there. You are the value that's added. And that is what is a huge perk to them being a customer with EllieMd.